Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Monday, and what build day it is, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is probably better than mine. I lose track of the build day sometimes. I believe it's 286 or 7. I'll figure that out after I go inside and I look at YouTube and see what day we are on. But again, we are less than 290 days into the construction build out here at Villa Feliz, and this is the calm before the storm. It's about 6:30 this morning, and it's very nice. The skies are blue. We have just a slight breeze, and it's a very comfortable morning here. And I'm sitting out here. I'm enjoying my my morning Bardaco coffee, and just waiting for the workers to start showing up, and we can start getting started with today's build day. A builder just sent me a text message, and he wants to know what's the final color you've chosen for your fence. And I think what we're going with that color. I don't know if you can see it over there on the corner, but it's almost the same color as the fence. And that color is called Money Tree. It's a Boysen Titan color that we're going to do for the entire fence line. It's a pretty neutral color, and I think it blends well with the theme of Villa Feliz here. Also, we're going to do a little bit lighter color for the trim, something more like a white, off-white type of a color. And that's going to be for the ledge, and that's going to be for the caps. I think for the caps. We still haven't come in with a final color for the caps yet. It might be something a little different. But I always like the lighter colors, like for the precast that we have going around the house, for the framing and for some of the column collars and things like that. The white always just is such a nice accent. Well, we're going to get today started, and hopefully we have a very progressive week. We have a lot of stuff that still needs to get done. Today is going to be mainly soffit work, finishing work, and I hope things get done in the kitchen. Yesterday we stopped by Kele, and we were informed that the team is supposed to be back out today, finishing up that kitchen install and correction. Hopefully we get that done today. And I have the backsplash from yesterday. I did not show you the backsplash that I had ordered and picked up, and maybe we'll show that also in today's video. So let's go ahead and get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Well, anyway, bright and early, you see we have our landscaping guys are here. They're starting to do the grading. They're moving the soil away from the outside, which is at a higher level, and moving up a little bit higher on the side of the house. That's because we have to have it higher on the side and just a slight level grading away from the house, so we don't have water setting up on the side of the house and it drains away. So that's what they're starting. Remember, phase 1 of the 3-phase process is we are doing grading. Phase 2 is topsoil, then phase 3 is putting down some grass. Well, do you remember those in-floor service outlets that we bought back in, it was like March, and then we set them in place around April when we poured the slab? It took us a lot of effort to make sure that that hasn't been disturbed over the past 10 months. Well, that's what we're installing today. So the service outlets, the main thing we put them in the floor for was in the event that we put like an accent table at the end of the couch. Remember, the couch is going to fit right here. And if we want to have a switchable light, because it goes to this switch right here. And if we, like I said, if you watch from the very beginning of the episodes, when you walk into the house, instead of cutting on all these lights, I mean, we have tons of lights here, and you just want a soft accent for a couple of end table lamps, you just flip this switch on over here. I'm not going to flip it on now because my electrician is actually working on it, and it probably is energized, but not with the switch off. Anyway, and we can turn it on there. Also, if you're sitting on the couch and you want to plug in your laptop and just work on your laptop or any type of your smart device, you can plug it into either one of the service outlets, and you don't have to move away. You don't have to have a long extension cord going anywhere else around the house. So just when you think everything is going perfect, then Murphy comes around. You know that guy Murphy. Well, anyway, the screws that do the mounting from this, that go down into, there's a little, on both sides of it here, there's a little nut on the bottom. The screw goes through here, and it's adjustable. It slides back and forth inside there so that you can adjust your plate on the top, even if your hole is not perfectly a circle, so you can cover up any hole. Well, the screw hardware that comes with the Panasonic is not a standard that you would normally find in a hardware store. The machine screw it has more threads per inch. It's a much finer machine screw than what you would normally find, which is what we bought, these 2-inch, because we made a small miscalculation. The miscalculation was when it tells you that you're going to install these, which is what we did back in April, I believe. The box, the holder box down here, it tells you to calculate what you think you're going to have for the amount of concrete and thin set and tile and everything like that. Well, we miscalculated, and we probably miscalculated by maybe, I don't know, maybe at least a 1/4 of an inch, maybe even a 1/2 inch, which is why we got these extension screws to go inside there, and that's not a problem normally. But for us here today, we found out that the thread pattern is a different thread pattern, and it's not your standard one, which you would think you would use. But these are the same that goes inside the switch outlets over here. If you need to extend, which is what happens a lot of times when they stick the outlet box too deep. Remember, sometimes they put a lot of plastic coat on it, and they've already embedded your switch outlet box. They didn't have a good strategy for that. So it's easy. The easy fixes, you use these extension screws. Well, it would work fine here, except again, I said the pattern, the threads per inch are different. So we have 2 options, simple options, the most simple options. One is to find the correct screw with the correct screw threads that's extended, or what we can do is we can find a washer and a nut for this one right here, and we could tape it to the bottom of where the mount is inside the outlet, and so it doesn't fall when we push this through, and we could use these screws as well. So either way, we have a solution. The best solution is to use the correct hardware. So well, actually the best solution would have been to have calculated the depth properly at the very beginning, but these things happen with construction, as you've seen all the way through. So we will survive. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to run downtown. I have to go to the bank anyway because I forgot to get the deposit. You know, whenever you have anybody doing services at your house, any type of installation, anything you buy for a subcontractor to come in and do work at your house, you have to have some kind of they have a schedule, or they have a contract with you. And most places are like you pay 20% or 50% or 40% up front before they start work or start delivering services for you. And we have to do that also for the landscape folks here so that they can get started. And then you make other payments as the progress of your work gets done. So I'm going to run down to my bank, because we don't keep any money here. So we will go get some funds for these guys. And while I'm there, I'm going to stop by Handyman to see if I can get the washer and the nut for these for our backup solution in case we can't find the other correct screw that we need for those service outlet boxes in the floor. But before I take off for the bank, let me show you one tip of the day that I think you might find handy. And a lot of you know this already. But remember those noise buffer pads that I bought to put up underneath our little switch. Let me put the light on in here so you can see a little bit better. Remember I told you to prevent this from scratching, I put these little bumper pads up underneath here, prevent them from scratching something else, or more importantly, scratching the wood. Well, these can also be used for something that we need here at Villa Feliz, and it's the doors. I don't know if you have listened in the background to these doors closing, but wood on wood is extremely annoying and extremely loud. And the case in point, these were absolutely terrible. So what I did was, and you could do these with these little rubber bumpers right here, or you can do them with cork. You can buy cork at your hardware store with adhesive on one side, and the same thing with these right here. But what you can do is you can stick these. Let's see if I can show you right here. See, right there inside the corner, I put one on the top, one in the middle, one at the bottom. And what I do is I cut these in half. I make them like a half moon, and now when you close the door, it sounds like a door closing and not a bang of wood on top of wood, and it's much quieter. Tip of the day. So have you ever wondered how they put those roofs on the Baje cubos and the different type of cubos they had out of the leaves from the palm trees and the coconut trees and stuff like that? Well, here are the leaves that they pulled here. And this is our own team here. This is the team here at Tierra Maria, and they do the maintenance here on our facilities and all around the subdivision. And this is how they're doing. I gotta watch how you do this. And then every one of them is just layer by layer by layer, just like that. And how are you folding that there? Yeah. That's crazy. I gotta watch you do one from scratch. Okay, I gotta watch you do one from scratch here. And then you just leave a few of these, and these are the ones that you do the looping at over the top. Ah, that's your lock. Ah, just like that. Wow, I learned something new today. Thank you, gentlemen. And that's how you do it. Well, our landscape folks, they went out and they bought some bulalo for us, and we had some like spring rolls or something like that, lumpia, or I don't know what you call that, but they went out and brought this back to us, which looks a lot better, and it tastes better than the lumpia, with a little bit of onions and calamansi and some red pepper, so we're feasting. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but our cabinet team is back here. Two of the members of the cabinet team, and they are doing the corrections here today. And while they are doing that, something that we have to take into consideration, remember we picked up our backsplash yesterday. So what we're going to end up having to do to make the backsplash work the correct way, where it is, backsplash is installed first and then the glass goes over it, is we're probably going to have to modify or get different glass to go inside. We were talking about that earlier, because the glass is going to go, but right up against the backsplash, it's going to go up against this wall. And when we do that, when you take the thickness of the backsplash and then you take the tile adhesive that goes on the back and you add those two together, we have too much glass at that point. So there's different ways to correct it. You could move this out forward, but like you said, it would not look right. So we're not going to do that. We want this installation to look right. So what that means is we're going to have to get a different piece of glass, and we will measure the glass after we do the backsplash, and that's why our tile person, Ading here, is going to go ahead and get started on installing the glass today. So the kitchen cabinet guys are fixing that problem we had with the big gap that we have inside there, where you can see wires and opening and all kinds of things underneath the countertop. But I got to thinking, while they're doing that, before they close everything up where you can't get to it, we have no access to it anymore, we want to install, I would like to install ribbon lighting, the same LED ribbon lighting that's going around the stone wall up there. We want to do drop down here as well. So we have to get power to where the ribbon cable is going to be. So what I asked them to do while we're doing this, a combined effort, my electrician and them, and we're going to put a switch here on the side right here, but we're going to have the wire available so it's real easy to make the connection to the LED ribbon cable, which is going to give a wash of the cabinet down underneath the quartz countertop. It's better to do this right now than to try to do it later after everything is all closed up and there is no access to where they're going to be sealing right now. You remember my request to the builder to pressure wash all the fence concrete hollow block before we put the finishing paint on it? Well, I didn't hear any compressor or any high pressure water going off today, so I'm going to say it didn't happen and we painted over dirt. So we didn't even visit up here today. The cabinet doors are starting to be installed. Doing some adjusting and things like that. That's my foreman that would be working up here. He just was up here, but now he is going down. We're getting delivery of all the tempered glass that's going to be fitting in all the French doors and all the single doors that have the multiple glass. All of these right here, all these right here. Our delivery man is here right now, so he just wants to know where to store them. They'll probably be in the basement. Well, it's just a few minutes to 5. It's getting to be the end of the workday here at Villa Feliz, and we're going to do a capture of everything that got accomplished today. And we're going to start with the folks who are working out here, the hard workers on the landscaping. We're still doing the leveling. We still got more to do. I think they have a bigger team coming tomorrow. Some of the bigger guys that can move more of the soil around, but we still have a lot of soil to push around. It doesn't look like a lot, but believe it or not, where I'm standing right here, we're still on I'm standing on an upslope from there, and we should be on a downslope. So we still need to be pushing all of the soil down in that area. So they'll be working on that. There's still more grading that has to be done. Also, the guys finished today. They finished the soffit and the lights, which completes 100% all the soffit material for the entire roof line. So they did this up here today, this portion of the soffit, and they installed lights. So tonight will be the first time that I get to test the lighting system with all the soffit lights all the way around the house. So that should give some more dynamics to the back. It's going to be kind of hard to see because of the scaffolding that's going to be in the way. The scaffolding is going to block a lot of the lighting that's going to light up this portion of the house, but we'll get sort of a feeling for what it's going to look like. We'll test that out later on this evening. So some work got done today in the basement on some of the cabinet doors. Inside the house, you saw, we're going to take a look real quick. We'll take a look and see what's going on with the kitchen. We are so close to having the kitchen done. I released the kitchen team today. They came to do the repairs. They did everything except for 2 things that couldn't be done right now. One is because we have to order that door that's upside down. Remember the one where they ordered 2 of the left or 2 of the right doors, and we're supposed to have a left and a right, and they said they were going to order that. I'm going to do a follow-up with the owner and make sure that that's taken care of. But let's take a look and see. Some of the backsplash got in. Most of the backsplash got done today, And you see, we don't have the lighting up underneath there because we're still working on, we have the glass back there. They haven't done the top portion of the backsplash. They have to do that. Then we'll mount the glass. And before we mount the glass, we will put the new lights that are going to go up there. I'm excited about that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. You won't see it as well without the lighting inside there. Let's see if I can put a light on here. Give us a little bit more. So that's kind of what it's going to end up looking like. If you look at it from this point right here, that kind of hides. You can't see what's missing up underneath there. This will give you a general idea. And it doesn't have the grout yet. The grout will bring out some of the coloring depending on what color. If we do a lighter color, each one of the tiles are going to jump out at you. If we do a darker color, it will subdue a little bit. So we haven't made the determination on the grout color yet. But then you can see the kitchen. They took care of all the problems that we had. This portion right here where you saw the big gap inside there, they took care of that. Wires are hanging over there because we're going to do that LED roll strip that goes up underneath there. They give us that special feature here. The switch is in place over here. I just have to have my electrician hook it up. I have to go down and pick it up first and have my electrician hook it up. So as you can see, they still have a little bit more work to do on the ceiling to get it back to looking like this right here. Well, this was never like that because that was a big, 2 days ago, remember that was a giant hole inside our ceiling. They got that done. The little tiny gap that we have on the top, that's normal. I will get a little bit of caulk, some silicone white caulk, very thin line, cover that, and you won't see that at all. And we went and we tested all of the cabinet doors. All the cabinet doors now open and close properly. And like I said, the only thing that has to be done, we got to fix this right here, and we're going to come up with a solution for that. I'm not going to have them shift everything here down. And we have to get a door that's correct. We have to have a left and a right door, not a left and a left and a right and a right. And they said they will order one of the doors that have to be done. I don't know which one they're going to order. Like I said, we'll do follow-up. But I'm very happy. Kele, the folks at Kele came through, even with all the struggles that they just had with that. They had a warehouse fire where they have all their inventory. But I understand they didn't lose anything. There was some damage inside there, but none of the damage was done to their inventory. So they were protected by the angels. So again, the Kele folks came through. I'm very happy they were responsible and took care of all the things that we needed to get done. If I give the folks at Kele 2 thumbs up for coming back and doing the right thing and taking care of the client, the customer, which is us. Let's take a look and see what else was done today. My electrician was a busy beaver today. He did the lights in the soffit, remember, on the back of the house. He worked on this section right here, which is going to be the switch for the power that goes to the motorized electric windows up there on the top. Doing some more wiring inside here, and we will be installing the ribbon LED light that goes around, hidden back inside there, goes around there, and will wash here. I have to go and pick that up. I don't know if I'll pick that up tomorrow or it will be very soon because we want to get that installed. They need to finish doing a little finishing up at the top up there as well. Upstairs, you saw I took you a little bit earlier. We're not going to go upstairs because the only thing they really did on the second floor was they worked on the cabinets. Remember, they installed the cabinets for the breakfast nook up there, so that's a big deal up there. Also, today they hooked up our sink, did the plumbing, which is the water. We now have the water for our stainless steel sink, our wash basin inside the laundry room. Hey, hop on. What got done today out in the backyard and the front yard? Hop on said, we have some painted fences out here, so we have a lot of painted fence. You can see the paint all the way around, and this is just the first coat of the paint that's being done for the perimeter fence around the house. And this is only on the inside. I don't think they did any on the outside yet. As a matter of fact, no, they haven't done any on the outside. So we're getting there. We got the white caps, and the reason I'm glad we went with white caps, we might not even keep it white. But the white would be like the boys in 701, B701 base coat, which is what you would always use, and you would paint over that. So if you decide you want another paint color, it's very easy to paint over it. And you don't change, you don't alter, you don't have to put many, especially with a darker color when you're trying to go to a lighter color. you have no problem with putting another coat of paint on there. Before I close for today, there was one of the subscribers was asking for a drone shot of where we are today in the build from the outside. And I like to do the drone shots from now and then so I get an idea of where we are in the progress. And one of the best ways to look at it is from a 360 around the outside. So let me pop in this little SD card inside the drone over here, and let's do a quick 360 drone shot of Villa Feliz. Well, here it is, the end of another day, another build day here at Villa Feliz, and a lot of stuff got done today. I'm excited about the kitchen. That was really cool that we were able to start getting the backsplash in place, that the kitchen folks from Kele came out and they did the repairs that we needed to have done. And the landscaping, we're just doing a cleanup. We're doing some minor stuff so that all this area around here, we have some green, just like we have green here, but we're gonna have green out there. And I don't think I told you what grass we've chosen yet for out there. It'll be a surprise. Got to have some surprises in life. So, but you notice that I'm watering back here, and the reason I'm watering, I guess we're long past. Remember, I've only been here a little over a year, so I don't really know the seasons yet. But it is really dry. It has been really dry. So I'm going to make an assumption that we're long past the rainy season. And you have to water things back here, or things start really going, start getting brown leaves. It's almost like what happens in autumn back in the US. but they don't die all the way back. They because before you know it, it's going to be spring really fast, and the temperatures don't change. Remember, here in Lipa, the temperatures here all year round in Fahrenheit, they're probably somewhere between 75 and 95 degrees all year round. And then in the this part, 75, 95, I'm going to just venture to say that's somewhere between 22 degrees C, and I don't know my C yet, and maybe around 32, 33 degrees C, something like, I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But it's very, very mild here, and the temperatures, did you see yesterday when I was in Calamba, Laguna, and I showed you the temperature? It was 38, I believe it was 38 degrees it showed on the vehicle temperature gauge. Well, we never see 38s, or very hardly see 38s around here. It's usually, you see it over the year with me coming and going here out at Little Feliz, that the temperature is relatively mild here, and it's anywhere from like 25 to maybe 32 when it gets really hot. This area, this part of Batangas, Lipa, and the Tagaytay, very good place. If you want to retire and you don't want to deal with the real heavy heat, have some nice breezes, this is definitely the place to be. So anyway, I have to close for today. We have to go in and prepare dinner. I got to get the video edited for tonight and prepare for another day. Tomorrow I might get an opportunity to either work on the generator mounting brackets for the security, or I would like to work on the fence railing and try to get some of that installed. I have a lot of the hardware and a lot of the brackets that are already prefabricated. I don't know, it depends on what is going on the build. Sometimes you have to stay around on the inside of the house more and watch what's going on inside there, and then do your own tasks. So that will be tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Well, anyway, let's close for today. Tomorrow is a new day. So until tomorrow, if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream in the bottom right hand side of your screen, and you will be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until tomorrow, you have a wonderful and blessed day.